How do we do? Who talks?
It's my channel.
Okay. Okay.
Hi. So today we're gonna do another cooking video. I have a special guest who's finally on my channel after all this time. You actually especially requested to be on when I make this lasagna thing because it's so good and it's also kind of hard to make by yourself.
It's a good team effort.
Yeah, I tried to do it by myself and it was like so bad. Do you remember that? The noodles were like extra crispy for some reason. Today we're gonna be making lasagna, which I got from one of the people at my work, vegan or not. Yeah, I got the recipe from someone at my work. I mean, I don't know where else I'd be talking about. We're making it for 2 people. We're gonna double up, but I'm still gonna tell you guys like the normal amount. So we're getting the water boiling right now because we kind of figured out making the pasta noodles first is like way better than doing like oven ready lasagna noodles, which I didn't even know was a thing, but apparently it was, and we tried it and it was really weird. I mean, it wasn't too bad, you can totally do that, but what?
Yeah, the oven ready.
It's like extra like,
yeah,
it's like kind of hard.
They come out too crispy.
Like we've made this recipe like multiple times, and every time we try to like, okay, maybe it needs more sauce, or maybe we need to do this or whatever, but it's just not the same as like actually making the lasagna noodles first.
We've almost perfected it, and I'm confident that this time it's gonna be a 10 out of 10.
It has to be, it just has to. So let's just show you guys. So yeah, we just got these regular Sprouts organic lasagna noodles, and we're gonna use a bigger pan because like I said, doubling up. Usually the recipe, when you make it, it'll call for like half of this, but we're doubling it up. So you don't need like this big of a pan to actually make it because it'll fill up like about half of that. And the recipe calls for 1.5 to 2 cans of tomato sauce. And I feel like I was kind of struggling because I keep forgetting if it's like there's like a tiny tomato sauce that you can get from the store, and then there's like one in like a normal size can. But I think we kind of decided that it's the normal size can.
Yeah, because every time we get the small can,
there's a tiny one too, right?
Every time we get the small can, we're like, how?
There's not enough. Yeah, so yeah, the recipe calls for 1.5 to 2. We usually end up using 2 because we want to make sure the noodles aren't hard, so we like completely smother the entire thing with as much sauce as we can. Then you're gonna need garlic hummus, which is like a little bit of a weird random thing. I've never heard of any lasagna having hummus in it, but it's for the quote-unquote ricotta cheese, and it's so good. Like, it's so good. The recipe calls for 5 ounces, but if you get a normal size, this is 10 ounces, so this is a little bit bigger, but a normal size one is about 8 ounces. So just use half of that. Just use half of the normal size garlic hummus. So then you're gonna need half an onion. Actually, look here, I already have half an onion in there. Should we just use that one?
No, because we're doubling it.
I know, but we're gonna need a whole, so it's like...
That's a hole right there.
Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna need half an onion, chopped and ready to go. And then you're gonna need 1 zucchini and 1 carrot. I don't know what else I need to say about that. You just need 1 zucchini and 1 carrot. You need salt, garlic powder, and nutritional yeast. Of course, you're gonna need oil. Do I even need to say it? I already mentioned in my last videos, oil is just like, I just feel like everyone should know you need oil for like anything you make, you know? Can't believe I almost forgot, you're gonna need tofu. You're probably like, okay, what even is the cheese? The ricotta cheese part, is it just hummus? No. It's extra firm tofu. So first things first is we have to chop up everything. Yeah, Tanner lets me cut the onions because as we all know, I don't usually cry. And it's really weird.
Do you really have to wash it if you're cutting the skin off anyways?
Yes. Ew! Look at this. It's like a butthole or something. Do you see that? Why does it look like that? Oh, that camera quality. Yeah, also for the inside, you're gonna need spinach, but me and Tanner wait until like the last minute because spinach cooks down super duper fast. You're gonna need 3 cups of spinach. These are getting thick. I feel like I messed up somewhere. I tried my best. Ever since I started watching, have you ever seen Worst Cooks of America?
No.
Oh my god. It was on Netflix for a while, but they took it off, but it's so funny and good, and it's like, are these people even real? But
They're that bad?
it's like people will, okay, so like the show starts off, people audition by going to the judges or going to the host and bringing their own dish and being like, oh, this is like my famous mac and cheese or whatever.
And they're trying to present it in a good light?
I think they know that the show is like Worst Cooks in America. But because usually other people nominate them. Other people are like, oh, I need to nominate my mom because she's like a terrible cook. So, which is like kind of sad.
Yeah.
And they just have like the nastiest dishes where they're like, this is your mac and cheese? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, you didn't even cook the pasta. Like, stuff like that. Like, these people are like super like hopeless. And the whole show is like these professional cooks are trying to teach these people like how to cook. Because I was like obsessed with that show. And then they took it off of Netflix, which is whatever, I guess. Like, Netflix just always takes off shows that are just so good for some reason. Like
Frasier?
Yes, they took off Frasier, which I was peeved off about for longer than I should. And I was so livid. And then we finally got Hulu, and one day I was just scrolling on Hulu. I was around season 5-ish of Frasier, and then Tanner was like, can we start the show over? And I was like, I'm already so far into this show. Then right when I told him, like, okay, fine, like, we'll start it over, they took it off of Netflix. On that show, Worst Cooks of America, they would always, I always remember this because she would always, one of the cooks, professional cooks, would be like, okay, so like when you chop, you want to like try to do it as even as you can so everything will cook at the same time. And I was like, okay, that makes so much sense. So anytime I'm chopping anything, I'm like, it has to be the same, you know, like they all have to be even. So it's giving me anxiety that these are all not even. It's basically the point of this entire story. It's starting to burn my eyes a little bit. That's really fine. I thought you were just do like in half.
Well, this is how I did it.
Okay.
I already know this is going to be like one of the best ones we've ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because we've just done it so many times now.
I know.
We have it down. And we know where we've gone wrong.
Yes. Just learn from your mistakes, you know? Is that boiling?
I wouldn't call that a rapid boil yet.
Okay. Tanner's a very like...
The package says a rapid boil.
Tanner just has to follow the packaging directions. Where if you watch any of my videos, you know I'm not like that at all. Have you ever like cut onions and then rub your eye?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Or like eat something hot and then like rub your eye?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe like how much you ate today. We went to a breakfast place.
Yeah, we went to a breakfast place and they are known for their coffee cake.
Ooh.
And they bring it out like a big fat piece and they have it drenched in melted butter.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I ate my piece and then Cameron
But
ate...
they gave me a bigger piece. It was probably the size of my head. Like I'm not even kidding you. Like if I held it up,
it was very good.
It was a huge piece, and I was like, I can probably barely finish the food that is like, you know, like that I got, the stuff that I ordered. How am I supposed to get this? But I got the coffee cake because Tanner's like, the coffee cake is like their thing that they're known for. So I was like, okay. And they bring out this giant ass piece right before the meal comes. So I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna like, do I have to finish this first before that? Like I kind of thought that it was gonna be like together. I thought that it was gonna be like together, like with my food. But I was like, okay, but
so
anyways.
I ended up eating my piece and basically all of Cameron's piece. And by that point, I was already stuffed.
And they didn't bring out the food until after, so then it was like you had to eat what you ordered.
And then my chili cheese scramble came up, and I was just looking at it. I was like, I think I could take like 2 bites of this. And I ended up actually completely facing the whole thing.
Yeah, it was actually like pretty impressive. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got kind of worried because it was just like a lot of food, you know? Just eating a lot of food is just a little scary. I feel like I left these kind of big. Some of them are pretty big.
It's okay, they're gonna cook down.
You're so supportive. I don't know why, but did you kind of also think that noodles were like wider?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were skinny like that. I was like, what the heck? Because I feel like my mom, when she would make lasagna when I was a kid, they were like wide.
Well,
they weren't like...
You were smaller, so they looked bigger.
Okay, that doesn't... So you're going to get a pan, and you're going to just cook them until they're golden brown, as the recipe specifically calls them.
And we need to let it cook 9 to 11 minutes.
So 10 minutes.
No, I'm gonna do 11. Can you read the directions to me?
It says the sauté until golden brown.
All of it?
Yeah. So now I'm gonna do the ricotta cheese part. Just a fair warning, because I'm the strict person that does this, and Tanner's the strict person that cooks the vegetables and the sauce and everything. So that's kind of our unofficial assigned roles when we make this. But mine is to make the quote-unquote ricotta cheese, and fair warning, it's gonna freeze your hands off. Like, it actually gives me hypothermia because it's like the outside part of the tofu is like, okay, but then you just get right in the middle of the tofu. Well, it's not like room temp yet, and I'm just like, just kill me now. This is so cool. So if you guys don't know the dealio with tofu, I'll run it for you really quick. So you need to dry and like get all of the moisture out of tofu first before you cook it.
Oh shit, I was burning this.
Good thing. Ow. Oh, I was like, how did you get that in there? So I just put it on a paper towel and I kind of like press into it to just soak it out, you know, just like that. It's literally all I'm doing.
This is gonna be so good.
I honestly get so excited whenever we make this to eat it because this is so yummy.
We never have enough veggies in there, but this one is gonna be thick.
Yes. You're gonna need 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then you're gonna need a teaspoon of salt, but can't measure it out in that.
How much was that supposed to be?
A teaspoon.
That was barely any.
And
I
then,
still don't think that was enough.
well then how much more? Remember we got some other hummus and it didn't have the garlic on top of it? It was like part of it. I don't know, but like when we get this hummus, the garlic is like on top. It's not mixed in, so I have to do all the work. And that is not what I paid for. Like I said earlier, if you're using an 8-ounce one, which is the recommended one, you're just gonna use half of the hummus and plop it right into the same bowl with the tofu.
This noodles is about done.
Ooh.
I'll give it an al dente test.
Lastly, for the ricotta thing, you're gonna need a 4th cup of nutritional yeast.
Oh yeah, that's al dente.
So now once you have it all in there, you roll up your sleeves and you just crush by hand until ricotta texture. So Sochi.
You're gonna make our neighbors yell at us.
This is our family. Okay, you're gonna preheat your oven to 350. So once we cook that spinach down, then we're going to add our sauce can. We are personally gonna use 1 can and like, probably like this much. Just gonna lightly oil the pan. This kind of just helps the al dente-ness. And the, is that not it?
It helps it not stick to the pan.
Helps it not stick to the pan.
Alright, so I say the first layer is, yes, veggies.
Yes. This is the fun part because you can kind of just put as however much you want or however little.
Normally we always end up with not enough veggies though. That's why we decided.
because this recipe is plant-based friendly, so it's so this would be like the meat, quote unquote meat part of it. This is our own, like, we're kind of going off the grid with this, kind of off menu with this, because it does not say to do this in the recipe, but it really helps. And this kind of just helps with like the noodle, the lasagna noodles, to kind of just stay
soft.
Stay soft, yeah.
Now, this is the cheese time.
Ooh, yes. Like when we make it in our small pan, when we're just following the recipe, it is like perfect
It's a lot better to
ratio.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have thick layers. Like, it's better to have like
That is
4.
also something we've kind of, in the past, have not really been.
It's better to have like 4 thick layers, 2 layers of the veggies and 2 layers of the cheese than it is to have like 6
So
thin
many,
layers. Yeah, because then you
yeah.
have too much noodle. We like to make sure that the sides
And that
don't
we
dry
kind
out.
of found out was like really important. Because when you're just eating it and then you just get like a hard end piece and you're just like, what the heck? So to avoid that, we like to put sauce on the edges to make sure like literally every part of the lasagna noodle is like covered.
We like to what's it called?
Distribute.
Yeah, reinforce the sauciness.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, this is going to be the best it's ever been. Yeah, I think that looks good, but what I want to do, I kind of want to drizzle some sauce on it or something.
Yeah.
I think we should spread the sauce on there. That way to seal in some moisture.
Okay. You're the head chef. The last part of the recipe turns out to be very small, but kind of crucial, because there's been like 2 or 3 times that we did it without covering it, and covering it is just another like surefire way to make sure that it will like keep all that moisture in there. The recipe says to cook it for 30 to 45 minutes.
Let's do 38.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. You actually did it. So, well, yeah, we're gonna cook it for 38 minutes at 350, and then we'll show you guys the finished product. We finally made it. Ooh.
It definitely looks the best.
And you put a little, what, crushed red pepper?
Yeah.
Don't be deceived by how, like, squished it is.
Mmm. This is the best. I'm so happy.
Really? Dude, this is like the most perfect layering we have done.
I've just learned from every time we've made it, like, what we need to do.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Dude,
Oh
the
my
layers
God.
are just... And
The cheese
not a
is so
single piece of the pasta is hard.
good. Yep.
definitely in the beginning when we hyped it up, I think we did it for a good reason.
I was very confident. The last time we made this, it was just a little bit off, and I was confident that the next time would be the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
These thick layers are the way to do it. Last time, we had like 6 thin layers because we didn't have enough ingredients.
And we were spreading it so thin because we used a different pan. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you are gonna use a bigger pan, like a smaller pan will do just fine because we would do that.
It depends on the amount. It depends on the amount of ingredients you're going for.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, okay, actually, the size pan.
It does kind of matter because then it'll be kind of like condensed more.
Yes, it matters what size pan you use when you're deciding how much ingredients to use, because today we used a large pan. Normally we use a small pan, and we use the normal amount of ingredients that we would use in a small dish,
a smaller dish, yeah,
for the large dish, and we just ended up having these thin ass layers.
Yes,
and it was just too much noodle
spread out to where there was like so many bald spots. If you're using a bigger pan, it definitely pays off to double up on the vegetables.
Well, there's no other way. There's no other way. Like
you just gotta do it that way. I mean,
look at that. I'll say this about this dish. The ricotta cheese is the star of the show. Like the carrots and the zucchini and onion, it's all just texture. Yeah. It's texture. What you're tasting is
it's more to help you just like get the layer of lasagna stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really recommend putting the crushed red pepper. That seals the deal.
Thank you guys for coming on this journey. Thank you to Tanner for being in this episode of this cooking series. Cute. Are we gonna do more?
Yeah, definitely.
He said it on camera. Yay! Thank you guys for joining us.
And as always, thanks for watching.